All right, good morning. Today we are going to be talking about Google Slides. This is one of the features of G Suite for Education that I think it has a lot of potential for teachers, but is also incredibly frustrating if you don't know the ins and outs of slides. It does a lot of the same things that PowerPoint does, plus a whole bunch of other features, and it also provides you connectivity to other elements of G Suite for Education, and it allows for collaboration. So definitely worth our time to dig into it today and figure out how to use this particular tool effectively. So if you go up here to the waffle, your slides are right here in yellow. And when you go to the home page, you have the option of opening up a number of different styles and templates. A word here quickly on templates. If you are interested in creating your own slides that have really beautiful backgrounds and things like that, one tool that you may want to consider is slidesgo.com. I have it pinned up here. For myself. It's saved. But SlidesGo has a ton of beautiful, beautiful designs and templates that you can download for free and do really cool things with. So for what it's worth, definitely check them out. Again, that's slidesgo.com, and I have it linked to the education section for obvious reasons, but you can also go to any number of other sections. You can look at for color, for style. Are you looking more for something elegant or something vintage? They have them organized that way as well. So hopefully you can find something at slidesgo.com that really works for you. That said, let's open up a blank presentation. There are two major complaints that I've heard from people using Google Slides. The first major complaint is I can't do everything in Google Slides that I can do in PowerPoint. Probably you can, it just won't be in the same spot. So I'm going to look at a few of those features, and then the other thing that people find frustrating is the fact that they cannot easily transition their PowerPoint slides into Google Slides. And so I want to show you how to do that. And actually that's what I'm going to do first. So when you open up a new presentation, or if you're trying to transition your PowerPoint slides to Google Slides, there's a couple of ways you can do that. When you upload the PowerPoint slides to your Google Drive, you can choose to save them in a Google Slides format. But I prefer personally to upload them. So go to File and then Import Slides. And I'm going to upload them from my desktop. So I'm going to select a file from my device. Let's see, I'm going to go into my AP World folder, and I'm going to find a really old PowerPoint. This one. Perfect. Okay, this PowerPoint is a really old one. It's one I inherited from a teacher about 6 or 7 years ago, and she probably made it 5 years before that. So it's really, really old. And the reason I choose this really old PowerPoint is that I think it's a good example of the kind of difficulty that you can experience if you've got a PowerPoint that you made years ago. You love it, and it's amazing, and you don't want to have to remake it. You just want to put it in slides. Right? So you made it 10 years ago. It's really in a very kind of old style of PowerPoint. Now, when you upload it, you've got a few choices. If looking at this PowerPoint, I go, gosh, I do not want all these slides. In retrospect, I don't know why I had this here. If you want to, you can delete them, but I'm not going to do that. Right now, I'm going to say all. Now, for the record, if I wanted all but these two pictures, I would just find it easier to select all and then deselect those two slides. That said, I don't mind having them here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm also going to keep the original theme. This is an important note, I think, because people think that their themes disappear. Your theme might look a little different, it kind of depends, but by keeping original theme, I can at least attempt to get as close to my original theme as possible. So we're going to go ahead and import the slides. Typically, your theme won't need to change too much unless, and this is a big unless, you have downloaded personal fonts. So I am a bit of a font snob, I'm not going to lie to you, and I have some fonts that I've downloaded that I've used in PowerPoint I think are really cute or really artistic or really elegant, and those will not be, they will not sync with Google Slides, right? So some downsides here. So let's look at the slides I've imported. it looks like the blue and the gradient from the original theme has stayed the same. So that has worked. It looks like my colors have all stayed the same. It looks like all my images are the same, right? But everything is off by like a good margin, right? So this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit. Pictures look weird. Okay, so this is the first, biggest, most important tip I can give you. That original PowerPoint was probably more square shaped and not widescreen. PowerPoint tends to, particularly older PowerPoints, tend to be more square and less rectangular. So the quickest fix for this is going to File and then going all the way down here to Page Setup. Now Page Setup has some really interesting features to it that I use a lot, but for our purposes, we're not going to go custom. We're going to go with one of their preset settings. So go to Page Setup. Widescreen is the default when you're in Google Slides, some version of widescreen, whether it's 16 by 9 or 16 by 10. And actually, if you're using a newer form of PowerPoint will also probably be widescreen, but the old ones are not. They are standard. So if I click on standard 4 by 3 and apply it, oh hey presto, my slides don't look weird anymore, right? Everything is okay. And if I decide, and look, you can also see that my notes have populated as well. If I decide later that I want to go in and I want to change things, I can, but the original slides for the most part are okay. The only slides that are still a little screwed up are my picture slides. And there's a really easy fix for this. I can recenter the images, I can expand the images, I can do all kinds of things with them. In fact, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and crop. So I clicked on this to crop image. It looks like there's some pretty large margins here, and it's making resizing this really difficult. So I'm going to get rid of those large clear margins and use this image. And I'm going to move it up here, expand it, and look, center it, and center it again. There we go. So now this image looks a lot better than it did previously. I can do similar things with this one. In this case, I'll probably just stretch it on out, and she's good to go. So not nearly as much work needed to ensure that this set of slides looks like the original set of slides. I do need to recenter some pictures, resize some pictures, but I'm not having to go into every single slide to deal with the reformatting issues I was seeing previously. All of these have stayed the same. So this will save you quite a bit of time. Now let's talk about a couple other things that you might find difficult with Google Slides. One of them might be font. So let's talk about fonts. If you're looking at your font options in Google, you have most of the standards. So Garamond, Times New Roman, Arial, right? A lot of your basic fonts will exist in Google. Google does also have its own extra sets of fonts. So if you enjoy using something a little more personalized, click on More Fonts. I have a selection here that are my fonts that I have selected that I want access to more specifically, and I've chosen them because I think they're fun or they suit a particular style for me. You can arrange them. You can arrange and seek fonts in a variety of ways. Or you can look for your display, those who have serif or sans serif. Then you can sort them by popularity, date added, trending, things like that. But let's say you really like serif font, meaning serif meaning they have these little like lines at the bottom, these little extra kind of flourishes. You'll note a sans serif font would be more like Century Gothic that doesn't have those extra flourishes on the ends. Okay, so I want a serif font, and right now they're sorted by popularity. Maybe I want to sort them by date added. And I want to go all the way back here to some of the older ones. Cambria, for example. All right, so some of your older ones are going to be down here. Garamond, obviously a classic, is going to be one of the older ones. And so I can find a font that suits me. and you can find one that suits you. So we're going to cancel here, and I don't know, I'm going to go with Garamond. And you can swap these out, and you can change anything that you want to suit you. One of the things that people complain about with those fonts is that they can't use ones that they've purchased. Presuming you take your time, I think you genuinely can find Google fonts that you will enjoy, even if they aren't ones that you've purchased from outside creators. If, for the record, there's a font that you particularly enjoy that won't collaborate with Google Slides, I often will do whatever item it is that I want in that particular font. Maybe it's a title that I want in that particular font. I'll do it in a Word document or PowerPoint document, and then I'll export it as a photo, and then I'll just insert it as a clear background, like PNG file. It's a little extra work, but if you're that set on a particular font, then it might be worth it to you. But I think given the number of options for fonts that you'll have access to with Google Slides, that won't be something you'll be tempted to do. The other big thing that people realize when they import their slides from PowerPoint is that their transitions disappear. And particularly if you enjoy active transitions as part of your slide presentations, you really will miss that. So I'm going to show you here how to do that. You're going to have to reinstall your transitions. Sorry. I can save you a lot of time by showing you how to resize, but I can't save you a lot of time with transitions. So here you can set any of your slide transitions, and you can apply this to all slides. So I don't know, maybe I want, let's go with flip. And we'll apply it to all slides. Now, I also want to show you object animations. While you're in here, select an image, and I can add an animation for that object. So maybe I want this one. There are a ton of options for the record. I want this one to, I want it to zoom or spin. Let's spin. And it'll do it when we click. Okay, so I will also do that with this one. Add animation for this map. I want it to fly in from the bottom. It's going to be aggressive. Okay, I'm going to play. And click. And there's my image, right? So you can see as I played this slide that it flipped, right? That's the first thing. I told each slide to flip as a slide transition. And then as I click, there's my item. All right, and if I go to this slide and I want to see, oh, do I like this animation? Do I like the spin on click? Maybe, maybe not. So let's play. And hello slide, click, 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 and this is how all of my words appear, and then, oh, there's my image spinning. So all of your transitions, those can still exist. You will need to reinstall them and reformat them, but if you saved yourself some time by changing the size of your screen, then it shouldn't take you too long to put those transitions in and make this as engaging and interactive as you want. There's one last thing I want to show you for slides. Let's go. Okay, if I want to present this in class, this is a really cool feature. It's audience Q&A. So if I go to presenter view, presenter view gives me the option under audience tools to give you a question link, right? So I'm here in Atlanta Public Schools and I'm accepting questions from Atlanta Public Schools. This would be the link that I would use. I say it's on. Questions will appear here. So as I present this PowerPoint in class, students are seeing this link at the top of the slides. So as I'm talking, if a student has a question and they're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to raise my hand, and I'm hoping your classroom is a classroom where students feel really enthusiastic about asking questions and raising their hands. But maybe they're too shy, or maybe you went really, really fast, or maybe they're like, this is a pretty specific question. They can ask it here. And then you, as the presenter, can look at the question and you may choose to address it, right there, or you may address it at the end it gives you the option of handling that however you want to handle that, but students can guarantee their question has been seen, has been heard, and this makes it a lot more engaging. Now, in a class of 30 students, you may not want to use this feature, but if you're doing something, maybe you're presenting at a faculty meeting or something like that, where you've got like 100 people in the room, then this allows you to stay a lot more organized. And so I found the question feature is really, really interesting. It has a lot of potential for your classroom. So we'll pause here, close that out, and I'm going to stop presenting.